Yes, Sanjeev, please.
There's one more thing. I request all of you to open the video if you can, because you are the lovely souls around. It's rarely we meet physically, so if you can open your videos, we'll be very I'll be personally very thankful to you. Not seeing many people around, and it's only the virtual we are seeing, and that too, if you're switching it off, believe me, I'm losing a chance to really meet you. Over to Aditya.
Thank you, Sanjeev. Yeah, the more we can see, the better it is. We have Amit also over there. Welcome on board, Amit.
So hi, how are you? Hi, Sanjeev, how are you?
Good. We're just getting started. Okay, I would introduce Sanjeev before we start off the session. The way I got in touch with Sanjeev is pretty interesting. So last year, I mean, I'm quite active on LinkedIn for those of you who are connected with me on LinkedIn. So I saw Sanjeev talk about his pro bono coaching that he was doing when COVID pandemic has hit us all pretty hard and hit us quite unexpected. So I got in touch with him. I got to know a little more about him. We tried to work on a couple of initiatives together. But in the process, one of the things that stuck to me was, despite being he having such a wide experience, he's such a grounded person. So he's very passionate about the work on leadership assessment, development, and coaching. He defines coaching as a partnering with clients in a very thought-provoking and creative process, which inspires them to maximize their personal and professional potential. So that's what his definition of coaching is. Sanjeev, his background is that he's a HR leader, global HR leader. He's worked across the globe in the domain of human resources and organizational transformation for almost 31 countries with individuals from about 73 nationalities. And he has performed roles in diverse industries like petrochemicals, infrastructure, utilities, power, steel, unending basically. He's literally touched almost all the industries that are there. He's an independent director on board of an Indian company. He's also certified by the Institute of Directors in Thailand and Australia. A practicing coach, having qualified from the Coach for Life USA, and a certified practitioner of Lumina Spark in UK. He's also an alumnus of IIM Ahmedabad, BHU, and ex-faculty in XLRI Jamshedpur and SP Jain in Mumbai. And the beauty is he calls himself a lifelong learner. So, Sanjeev, welcome. You're on mute, Sanjeev.
Thanks, Aditya. Thanks a lot for the very elaborated introduction. Now I'm a very small guy. Treat me like that.
There's so much that I couldn't do justice. So, can you talk through your career journey as to how you started and where you are here today?
Okay, I think you've already covered most of it. So it's a very small story. 3 organizations. One is Tata Steel. Spent almost like 18 years. A lot of things have gone ingrained in my mind because of that. That's my career builder organization. Then I came to Reliance ADAG Group, where I had a different, from steel, I moved to this infrastructure, transmission, power generation, power distribution, a lot of stuff. And then I moved to a petrochemical company, a multinational company outside India for about 9 years. That's Indorama Ventures. So that has been spread at the global platform. So that's where I was introduced to a lot of things on the global arena. So I started, as I said, my career in investor relations, then getting into the training and development, moving to the corporate world. And that's the time when I got into XLRI for teaching for 3 years. and then moved to quality system is the more of a theory of constraints by Dr. Liao Goldrath. And for that, I was a master black belt for 1 year out of HR domain. And in between, I was for 3 years, I was doing some kind of a head of department where I had a 1,640 people. Moving from there to Line CDAG, corporate HR role, and then the business head role, business HR head role, and India. And then I got this opportunity for the global HR role where anything and everything was a part and parcel of the program. And then I moved to India, and as Ravi had said, in 2019 mid, and that's where I was just rethinking what to do. And that clicked me first to really working on leadership because I was working on global leadership program there. So I thought I'll do it here. So I got certified and became the South Asia practitioner, very soon recognized. And then I got into coaching. That was something I was thinking that I may do it good, but I had done it. But believe me, when I was introduced to coaching by Peter Rading, then US guy, and then I realized I was with the advisor, not the coach. And there's a huge difference in being an advisor as an HR head than being a coach. As you all know who are the coaches, for them, as yes, you are aware of, for those who are not in coaching, coach is all about the client, not about you. Because that's the basic premises that the client or the coachee knows everything and they have all the answers. As a coach, my job is to just ask the right question which can take them at the deeper level. Sometimes a deep coaching also is required so that they get their answers. So that's my journey. I think I have nothing more to share. It became very long by then.
Thank you, Sanjeev. It's not long, but it's very insightful. So what I have seen typically from many entrepreneurs and coaches as well is that they, at the early start of their career, at the start of their career, they're more focused around acquiring clients, making money, building the business and the profession, and so on. But you have been in the profession of coaching for just 2 years. Okay. And as I was saying, unlike many professionals who are focused on making money, you focused on doing a big pro bono assignment. You've actually created it from the start and you ran it basically when the pandemic has hit in 2020. So there are a couple of questions that I want to ask you. One is I want you to talk to us about that assignment that you have done. Give us a few numbers and stats about it. The other thing that I want to ask you is, which is more a deeper question in the sense, is what was going on in your mind when you thought of doing something of this sort?
Thanks for this question, Aditya. I will take the second question first and then the first one second, if you don't mind.
All yours.
The second question is what was going on in my mind when I took up this pro bono coaching, which became a large, very big project. As I said that I was here in India, I wanted to do something meaningful based on my experience. But something like the coaching, I actually came to know that I realized that coaching is something, actually I have not done it in my life before, in spite of calling myself the global HR head. Now, the question here was when I came to know about what the coaching is, with this short program before I got into the bigger program, it gave me insight that the coaching most probably is required by a large number of population. Whether they can pay or not is the secondary issue. Because even all of us, including me today, I need a coaching because all of us, we are at the crossroad at some point or other, and we don't know the answer unless somebody provokes us by asking those questions, which by and large we avoid. Now here, when I was going through the program of the coaching, and pandemic had set in into April time, and like anyone other, I thought, yes, I should really get my client, the paid clients and everything. I thought I'll start with the small, but whomsoever I was talking, I realized they've been already in such a painful part of their life. Either their salary was started getting cut down, or they lost the job. Some of them. Even I met with. I'm not going to share any of the names here as a part of the ethics of being coaching. So I met one other person who has been the Asia head for a company Canada based, and he was based in Bangalore, marketing and sales head, and he lost his job. And the second I met like this, somebody who was in Mumbai, this lady, and working for a huge, very big ad firm. And I came across with her, and first thing, two things happened. She had a divorce in January 2020, and then April, when I met her, she was almost at the verge of losing the job, and finally she lost the job. Now, when I saw that, I think most probably I have now learned, and now I have to give, and that to give made me to start something of my own, to start the pro bono, and I did offer this pro bono to these two people. But the third came in through the reference, their word of mouth. Then I realized most probably going for three pro bono, and really, am I doing justice to these people, or should I take more? And if something more comes in, what should I do? Should I really be spending time and really adding value to them? That's where it just clicked to me. I spoke to the president of Association of Mumbai Coaches. There were 100 plus coaches out there, and she said, "Yeah, Sanjeev, if you want, you can write in the group." I wrote in the group. I didn't realize the power of giving, and I'm not boasting. There were 33 coaches within no time. They came forward, and I was very new member in the Association of Mumbai Coaches. I couldn't believe it. I had 33 people along with me, maybe 32 people came forward. Quickly, we had to make the campaign. Quickly, we have to work on publicity and everything, and managing all 33 with their aspirations, because these coaches have been coming with the season, with the 15 years coaching experience, 20 years coaching experience, and kind of thing. Well, I was a very new, but only thing what I became a center point, and I was just thinking, am I doing the right thing by taking this much of a big job? And I was supported immediately by the people by forming a committee kind of thing, coordinator. We took all the details of the coaches, then we published. We got a 58 requests coming from all over India, um, for the coaching, pro bono coaching. Of course, some people took two, some people one, some three. And yes, we started off. And we started off, and we ended up by successful completion by, I think some of them, they went up to September, October, starting in April end.
Yeah.
Almost like 95 hours of coaching. And we had only 31 because two people had some emergency at their home, so those coaches could not join. But the kind of bonding I got from the coaches and these so-called the coaches or the client was amazing. You won't believe it, even today they are on my WhatsApp. I love them, they love me. I mean, I could not have gained by asking money from 3 to 4 clients to get the money when I started coaching. Now, when I say that, I think I gave you the background with the shaking mind and shaking heart. Am I going into, I started with 1, 2, 3, and then suddenly it blew up. When it blew up, it was really out of proportion for me to handle. I'm personally very thankful because I can see some of the coaches are here who are also into this group, who've been part of the same, movement, I'll say. Not only that, we got so much excited with this kind of thing because all these coaches, they not only they gave time, effort, but they gave their heart out to help people. They gave me, we took a feedback from coaches. We took the feedback formally from the coaches. The satisfaction levels, I've studied some statistics, so I love the numbers also. We got 90.3% satisfaction from all the coaches. Progress they made about all of them, because there was some question, they made 87.5% of progress. And the rest, they said, they didn't say they didn't progress in the coaching, but what they said that they're not very sure of. And that's fine, because the progress is about the coaches to make, not the coaches. Coaches only create a kind of environment, the platform and the question and the silence, where the coachee has to reflect back within themselves to get the answers. Some of the success stories, I'll tell you at least one which strikes me always, and always when I speak. This is about the lady which I said that she lost the job in a multinational advertisement company in Mumbai. When I met her, and of course I have not met any of them face to face, I mean physically, everything was been virtual. And this lady, about 42 years old, just got divorced in January and April. When I met her, she was been absolutely, I mean, what should I say, billboard. I mean, Hindi mein kya bolenge isko? Bahadwas, if my Hindi is right. So I was feeling very bad about her. I didn't know how to help her. Because of those things you really want as a human being, you want to help another human being, and that's what happened. But then I stick to my coaching ethics. I just put the questions to her. And these questions helped her slowly, because she wanted to do her MBA from European universities. She said, fine, any of the European institute. And we started coaching. And by October, September, she was very confident. And but I think October we finished. In November, she called me up and she said that she got a break in IIM Bangalore. Again, she gave me a call, very excited. She said she is one of the top 5 rank holders. I was very happy for her, very, very, very happy. In January end, she gave me a message that she wanted to have video call. And she wanted to have it in night, maybe around 9 or something. I said, okay. She made a video call and she was actually a very different lady. Bright, shining. I said, hey, what happened? She said, I just wanted to share something and I called you up. And her story was that she has got 1-year scholarship fully paid by the institution. She's flying in July this year for 1 year to Harvard Business School. As a coach, I don't know, I didn't do anything. The magic, she did it. I created those questions, I reflected back, I created those questions, and I moved her mindset from X to Y in her domain where she was most comfortable doing whatever she wanted to do in her life. She created magic. I also don't know what magic my clients can create, but every time they gave me the surprise. Every time they gave me surprise. So I'm very thankful to them that they made my life. Not only that, the pro bono project got over in October, but we did another project with some college. 2 girls they've been doing the graduation. Third, I did it with Aditya himself. He was here, who's the organizer of the session, Coach's Corner. We did it, and I started off, I put one flyer on the LinkedIn. I got 5 coaches coming in from LinkedIn. Aditya was one of them, and I didn't know Aditya before.
Yeah.
I think Amit is here. Amit also came in like that.
Yeah. Amit also came in.
So I'm very happy when the people come forward. So you don't know what you're going to create when you are into that mindset of power of giving. I'm very thankful to see one of my current client or the coach who is Abhishek. I can see you, and Abhishek is one which in the coaching. Of course, I didn't take. I mean, it's not pro bono for him. I took a one small token from him because I didn't want to give him free anything. Because also realized that anything going on free was also sometimes not been appreciated, and that's where when I said 58 of them were there, at least 10 of them they did not value the power of coaching, and they didn't do any work. They thought that coach is something who's going to give advice and that will change their life. It doesn't happen. Coach only asks the question. So the free also, I realized that absolutely free doesn't pay you off. Yes, Abhishek, would you like to speak for 2 minutes if you got something out of the coaching, if there's any, not necessarily that you may have got it.
You're on mute, Abhishek.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Sanjeev. Okay, so I will start with thanking you for giving me an opportunity on this. So basically, what I would like to add that these sessions have been a great value add for me. So right from your first session where you started with discussing and we discussed what are my core talents, my life purposes, and and core values, and it made me realize a lot of things about myself which was not aware of. And from then, as we moved on to other next sessions, and we discussed all challenges that I'm facing currently in my life and I faced earlier. And the questions that you asked me, it was a process of self-discovery, and the questions were tough, and it challenged me to really reflect upon my current my self-image, the self-image that I had, to challenge it, to reflect it, and then it made me realize different things about myself. So it has been I can say it has been a good journey so far. I have gained a lot of useful insights about me and also about the world, but mostly about me. And I am looking for, and as the session has just started, I'm looking forward to utilizing it as in when I can. That's it, I think.
Thanks, Abhishek. Yes, it's all about you. Because coaching is all about the clients. It's not about the coaches at all. So if anybody coach thinks that I know a lot, I think the person is not a coach. Coach has to start with nothing, only the right question, the right time, and then keep the mouth shut. The magic is done by you, Abhishek, and you have done it. All the session I have observed, I think we have done 3 or 4. And every session I see you moving so fast in your changing your mindset. And in fact, growth, the kind of movement you're making, I don't have any doubt that you will do much, much more, the magic yourself.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, Aditya, I hope I could answer a small question a very longish way.
You did. I mean, it's fantastic to hear that, Sanjeev, and it also makes me a bit nostalgic about our conversations those days, the frequent calls that we used to have, and so on. At this moment, I would like to open it up to the audience. If they want to ask any question, they have anything on mind, unmute yourself and please go ahead.
I think I'm Rajiv here, Rajiv Bhatia. I think Sanjeev and I have worked together at Reliance, and to add to whatever I've heard right now, I think probably Sanjeev forgot to say this and mention about himself and his modesty. The idea is that he's always himself a learner, and so I would say, Sanjeev, that what I found in you was the fact that your learning spirit itself, that you are always a learner, and your realization that, the more and more I know, the more and more I get to know what little I know about what more and more I need to know about. Now, that is the situation we all humans are, in fact, and our learning space is so vast that whatever little you know, it's always the ignorance which far, outstrips your knowledge at any given point of time. And that is in Sanjeev, I think, the one that, is the biggest strength that you as a coach have. And I've interacted with you far too closely in various situations. And in the fact that, even when you were away, in fact, from India, and we kept in touch, in fact. And therefore, I think this one aspect of a coach has to be very well, ingrained into every coach, in fact, that, as long as you consider yourself a learner, I mean, humility has a place, but humility today is not a virtue. It's a virtue out of necessity. I mean, the very fact that we are more ignorant than we are learned at any given point of time, I think doesn't give us the right to kind of, say, as Sanjeev says rightly, that, that I'm not a person who says that I know it all. None of us can probably and never will. And the very fact that we don't is the real nudge that's given to us when we kind of, all the time learn. And that's exactly what gives you an edge over others. So I think I can only wish you all the best that you continue doing this, and very gracefully that you've done so far. This learner spirit, because see, in the times that are today, this disruptive technology and market turbulence, the most important thing today is that you have to constantly be in a reinvention mode as a coach, as a coachee, both, because there's so much of knowledge and information, knowledge and wisdom, basically, to be kind of, in that order, to be internalized within each one of us.
Yeah.
Because things are changing so fast, you have to upgrade, adapt, modify, and understand, at every given point of time. You have to work in ambiguity. You have to get comfortable with ambiguity, and take decisions. As a coach, the problem is that you take decisions more or less in a state of semi-dark. Most of the coaches that we deal with, they kind of, everybody at this given point of time takes a decision in a state of semi-dark. So the coach's role is to see from outside exactly as to where the light is and where the light is missing.
Yeah.
So while you may not, I think that's exactly what Sanjeev, you do it well, because you always consider yourself a learner from outside, and you learn, and you can always see it outside objectively without participating in it.
Sure.
Getting involved, but not participating. So that's the important thing about a coach. And I think Sanjeev hasn't enough. In fact, I'm not kind of, selling him and beyond a point, but he doesn't require that. But that's the statement of fact, which I thought that he missed out in his expression of.
Thank you very much. And Rajiv happens to be my boss.
Okay.
I wish you had seen this at the time of doing my increments, but you did.
I think there was no boss and subordinate. We work together, and I think we commonly pursue the goals, together. I think that's my belief.
Thank you, Rajiv. Thank you very much. So before we proceed to the next question, I would just like to introduce you all to the next week's panelist who is going to join us. I'll share the screen a little bit. You want to see my screen?
Yeah, we can see it.
So this particular gentleman who is on the panel next week is Tyagarajan Venkatraman. He has been with Ashok Leland for quite some time. He's currently the chairman of Ashok Leland Educational Trust. He does a lot of work with startups. So I'm going to invite him and talk about how we can work with startups and make it a win-win journey for the startups as well as for the coaches. So that's something that I want to share. So I hope you would be there for the next week's session. And also one more thing that I would like to talk about is from next week onwards, what we are trying to do is we are trying to have the coaches start asking questions around some of the challenges that they face. Okay. In terms of, like, you have a client and you're not able to break through the jinx, you're stuck somewhere. So these panelists who are going to be there, we will take about 15 minutes. I'll pick one question. I'll share the link with you all after the call, if you can get in touch with me. If in your coaching journey, you're stuck with some problem while coaching a client, you can talk about that, of course, with the confidentiality and all that stuff. And then I would pick one of the questions and give it to the panelist. And there are a couple of other very senior coaches who have coached for 2,500 plus hours, Kingshu Gandhi being one of them. So these coaches try to help you break that barrier so that you can learn from their experience and then proceed further. So it's going to be a two-way thing, but within the same 1 hour capsule that we would have. Thanks a lot. Back to where back to our session today. So Sanjeev, one thing that I wanted to ask you is, while this has not been your intention while you started the pro bono project, how did it help you build your personal brand and image?
Beautiful question. Yes. First of all, I didn't do it initially when I started off for the brand.
Hmm.
I did it really because I wanted to meet the purpose of my own life. And that's where it helped me to really go, because Rajiv knows on Reliance time, I met with um, one of the French coach who was brought in Reliance. Um, and he helped me to define my life purpose at that time. I'm talking about long back. And it was to really help the people and make them to fly high in the sky. I don't know how and why it stuck to me throughout even till today. I worked with Peter Rading to understand the coaching in depth. And Peter is one of the top 20 coaches today in the world. And I was been mentored for 9 months by him every week for 3 hours. So it was really a very fruitful journey. But yes, I understood and it really got ingrained in me. When I started, it was not to make my mark or dent or image, whatever you call it. But yes, as I grew, because we had a 58, as I said, the first round, we had some more coming in with the pro bono. And the time came when somebody who got a pro bono introduced me to her organization, that he has a coach who has coached me and he is good. And I think he can do wonders for our leaders. The second happened where a person again um, got coached and a person has left. We didn't have any talk. And suddenly that lady messaged me from Hyderabad saying, hey, Sanjeev, somebody is looking for a coach into the organization. Will you be? I said, why not? Not the second client. And I'm talking about these are the organization, not the individual. But these individuals paid me back, which I never expected. I also started writing about my experiences with the coaching without giving the details of my clients, but just experiences, especially the questions or the environment in which they've been there and how they made their lives, how they came out with the rut or the status quo. And those stories I started writing with lot of push from people, including my coaches and some coaches. They pushed me to write on LinkedIn. November 2020, I started writing with a lot of shaking of my heart that, am I doing right thing? Am I writing good? Am I writing complicated? All those things. And the first post itself was being viewed by 46,000 plus people. And I couldn't believe it. And that's it. I said, yeah, I can write it. And who are the contributors? The clients. It's the pro bono clients and some of the few coaches. I loved it. I again was not very confident, but started writing. Today, I make it a point to write at least in a week or 10 days, one post, which are basically the journey of my client and they're changing their own story by themselves. And of course, a few questions which I have to. People started knowing. I know that I have now quite a lot of followers on LinkedIn. I at least been read by in the average of 5,000 to 12,000 people. They read the stories. If I don't write, LinkedIn sends me the reminder that, look, your followers are waiting for you. I don't know, there may be AI system. I think 9 to 10 stories have been rated as were a top 1% trending story at LinkedIn because their AI system actually sends the message to me. I didn't believe it. It's happening. And because of that, some of the organizations are also approaching. My whole clientele started with LinkedIn. It's coming with LinkedIn, started journey with the pro bono. So I haven't learned any other way to start this journey of coach except the pro bono. But it's paying me, which I didn't expect. I think people, they know a bit. I'm doing a session here. 17th, I'm speaking on coaching, how the coaching can help organization. Last week of the month, I'm speaking to another group on coach as a leader. So all these are offers the way you invited me, Aditya. I believe it's coming up one by one, unfolding. I've been blessed with the best wishes of the people who got it pro bono coaching.
Thank you, Sanjeev. So, couple of things that are takeaways that I noted down as you were talking is, while it may not be the intent with which you probably start something of this sort, what you get out of it is going to be immense. So whatever you give, it gets back to you at a much larger scale. And the second thing, which is very interesting, is you sharing your experiences in coaching, talking about them openly so that others can learn. The fact that there are so many people who are reading it makes it a point that people are learning from what you're sharing. So that's fantastic. It's all about giving and sharing that you're talking about, and the benefits that that it is giving you. So, let me just pause and ask if any of the audience have any questions that they want to ask. Otherwise, I have my questions. So, okay, I'll keep asking my questions. So, based on this, what is it that you try to tell the coaches who are starting off or who are in their journey? What would you like to tell them based on your experiences so far?
I'm not that learned person or so-called a seasoned, so don't go by no hair or whatever is the left is white hair. Don't get misguided by that. Well, I can just talk about my belief. I don't know I'm right or wrong. The world in which we live is full of violence, human suffering, and the environmental destruction, that the society, the way it is. And of course, we have been just add on with this pandemic, and especially in India. The question is what can we do to help and heal the wounds of others and reduce their pain? The question is what can we do to heal in the process our own personal wounds and diminish our own sufferings. It's not as a coach, what I see is I personally believe that I'm also healing my own wounds. I am diminishing my own suffering by giving. I'm not talking about giving money only. I'm also talking about giving your time, your love, your kindness. Of course, if you can give money, why not? So whatever is your circumstances, whatever we can have a positive influence in the other's life. Have you ever heard of saying that we may only be one person in the world, but we may be the world to one person? I have seen this in this pandemic. On 19th of this month, it's April, I lost the brother of my own sister. Very painful. And his son, my nephew, is a doctor, dealing and healing, saving the life of people who are under COVID. And he could not save his father because he was running for oxygen. in the city. After this incident, the mother of my brother-in-law, Jijaji, is also, she has been suffering right now also. She's going through the agony, pain, an old lady about losing the son. The same story was getting repeated. And this time, because for my brother-in-law, he had only 2 or 3 days in hand to go, but here I also became very active. Of course, I tried to help GAG also to get oxygen, but I could not. But this time I was quite determined. I was spreading all over the places, whichever person I knew in my knowledge at that time. And one of my friend shared me something from the Facebook about a Muslim guy who was giving free oxygen and the ambulance without charging anything. I spoke to him from Bombay to that city, and he said, "Yes, sir, हो जाएगा. कोशिश करता हूँ. अभी नहीं है, भरवा दूंगा, लेकिन cylinder ये सब कुछ किया उसने." Somehow, there was a crisis. We got 2 plants in that city had suddenly stopped, and he was also in a problem, but he was constantly in touch. That person for me was been really doing much, much more than what I'm talking and to all of you about the power of giving. Believe me, I've now started a campaign for asking 100 rupees from everyone to whomsoever I know for that Umar Hussain, who is doing selflessly giving oxygen and providing ambulance. He himself writes. He's got the car to get the vehicle, and he says the driver to get the ambulance, but he drives the ambulance always for the patients because he doesn't want to put his driver into a problem. Is he not doing much more than what I'm talking and doing? Just nothing. So they have the heroes, and you can think of that guy, how he became at that time one person to whom I didn't know became the word to me. Yeah. Is it not for us to become word to the people now? God, it is a God sent message to all of us to meet the purpose of life now. And if you're not doing anything for the people, most probably you will have a regret that you will not be meeting the purpose of your life. I'm not here to give lecture. I'm expressing my personal feelings about it. You will realize when you give, the best way to find the happiness is by giving. Giving can really make this world most peaceful, harmonious, and productive place. The high you get, one study revealed that people who exhibit higher level of altruism get helpers high, a release of endorphins. And this high can give the immune system a boost, a speedy recovery from surgery, and cut down on those restless nights. What else you need? Today you need to improve your immune system. And there's a way to do it beyond Ayurvedic, allopathic, and homeopathic. It's in you. It's an inbuilt system the God has given you. Please use it. There was a survey I was reading just for this session I was reading, and I've been honest about it. There's a British poll of volunteers been done, and they survived almost 20% of more, and they lost their weights and got a higher success than going for a diet routine because they were the volunteers. Yeah. If somebody wants, I'll try and give that article. Being generous is a spirit, and the deed is great comfort to the soul, which is beyond our mind, body, the looks. I mean, when I look at the kind of this Make Your Wish organization, I know the stories. I know personally, I know some stories that how the girl of 3 years old who has been told to live for just a week is today is a 5-year-old because that Make a Wish Foundation has given that new life to her. There's a lot of unmet wish in you and me. Just do it. I don't know whether you explore your purpose of your life, but I would love to take you through a smaller route or the bigger route. There are two ways which I learned. Not only to give you the purpose of your life, but also to help you to know how much power you have within. You are not tapping your full potential. The benefit of giving ranges from inner happiness to the chance to achieve your own true potential. There are also the greater needs within your own community today. The face of such needs and desperations in this kind of environment, you have two choices. You can decide to help others change the lives, or you can decide to do nothing and lose the benefit of giving. That's all. So not only this joy of giving, not joy, I think it's the power of giving. Also bring not only the connectivity, but the feeling of security, security of jobs, good health, a sense of empowerment, pride, accomplishment of happiness, peace, and love. What else you need? But that is a paradox also. That when you give expecting a reward, the ROI, which most of the organizations they look at during their CSR, and as an individual, when I say that, you talked about Aditya sometimes back, how it built the image. I didn't know it's going to build the image. I was trying to meet my own purpose. I have been selfish at that time, but not the image suddenly. But this the paradox is when you give expecting a reward, believe me, you will not receive anything. But when you're giving with a joy, selfishness, and love, you don't know how much you're going to gain. Most probably, I can't even define with the word. I've been blessed. So it's only through the connecting with the human beings that you learn about the world, about yourself, and even about your destiny, because they are the mirrors. So idea is to for me is if the session is this talk is what I said is making some sense to you or not, that's fine, it's up to you. But if something is touching you somewhere, please do it today and now. And if you don't get the happiness, just give me a ring, or you can just say, I was talking bullshit, and I'll accept it. Because maybe I am living in the fool's paradise.
Sanjeev, I think there's a point, just sorry to butt in just like that, in the world when humans are being dealt with, we've discussed a lot. In fact, it's actually you give not to take, but you give and get anyways. So the point is what you get, how much you get is dependent, of course, on a lot of factors. But when you give, you get. But what you get is not in your control and not exactly what is expected. You don't give to take. And as long as you don't do that, I think you get in a lot. And that's exactly what you've been telling. So I just wanted to put that in perspective.
Thanks a lot. I will tell you another thing. Let's talk about the organization for time being, and then I'll come with one or two stories, and because we'll be also closing it. So what kind of organization comes to your mind when it comes to looking for the society and helping them, the rising at the time when the need is. A very few, though there is in India, there is a percentage of CSR has to go. We work for, business excellence model. We get awards, we get rewards. There are DJSI, uh, you know, uh, Dow Jones Sustainability Index. Are we looking at the sustainability by those, by writing application, winning the awards? Or are those organizations who are already doing it, and these organization, Business Excellence and DJSI, they feel proud of giving awards to this organization because they say, we are giving award to these organizations, not the organization chasing the award. And I will not feel shy in talking about one organization. Even now, over the years, they have done so much. They have put a benchmark, and the time and again, they really do it. And
I think we lost Sanjeev. Because it's good that it has happened towards the end of the session.
Yeah.
That's the only silver lining I see.
But I'm sure, given he'll soon get back.
sorry, my apologies. So when we talk about without calculating ROI, that how much I'll get award and how I will show it to the society to get the returns, if you're doing it, then most probably you are not working for the society, you're not doing the CSR. So when you're looking for the rewards, in whichever form it comes, it doesn't come, it doesn't matter, but the kind of happiness if it gives you, that's the reward, which you cannot compare with any reward or what's coming to you beyond that. So uh, it's a question of there's some research which been done on good health, and they said that these are the academic research because I read the papers. This demonstrate when you give the to people, it really helps you physically and emotionally. It gives you, enhances your immune system, which I talked about. It lowers your cholesterol levels. I have a research paper. And it strengthens your heart because your heart becomes larger in any way, as it's been said. It decreases the incident of chest pains and generally reduces the stress because you are open. So actually, one of my coach friend, he was sharing with us a story, and he was sitting at the airport. I'm just talking about early 2020, before pandemic, and he was going to overseas. And he shared once he came back, and he's in Mumbai. And he was sitting at the airport lounge, and something he saw on the TV, they were showing kind of an incident, and they were showing an incubator. There were twins. One kid was really not well, and other kid was healthy. And as per the, I think some norms are there, each child has to be kept in the separate incubators. So the nurse was asking doctor time and again to keep the healthy child along with the sick child, brother, whatever, twins. And doctor was not hearing, and she was cajoling time and again, and finally doctor did it. The healthy child put the arm on the sick child. 3 days, just 3 days, the sick child was back. People need you. You need to come up. Live to your potential. You heard of Rumi of 13th century, the Persian mystic. He saw a man walking on the street, and that man was passing through a beggar. And the man said, why God do you not do something for these beggars, the people? The God replied, I did do something, and I made you. When the Rumi was writing these words, actually he was addressing your ability to choose what you do, your ability to reach to your own potential, gifted, blessed by the God. Most of the people use only a tiny portion of the potential, and many never find their true gift or the calling of life. They never find a worthwhile cause to support, because many of the organizations, they explore, I have a CSR fund, what to do, where to send, what is the best option. Then you have a person next door, you can go and help and extend your hand.
Yeah.
Mahatma Gandhi also said it, to find yourself, lose yourself in the service of others. Well, friends, I have got lots and lots to talk about it, and it is 5:01. I am really drenched with the emotions of talking, and I don't want to have verbal diarrhea here. I really thankful to all of you, and if you have any question, and if you are free to go if you want, I'm personally very thankful that you came here, listened to me, gave your time, valuable time at the time when the whole world is really suffering. You have your own, your own time to do better things in life than this. But yes, open to anything, any comment, any question. I'll be happy. With my limited capacity and capability, I'll try and respond.
I think it's fantastic, Sanjeev. I mean, the beauty of this conversation is that everything that you were saying was coming straight from the heart. It's not a script. It's not something that you're saying because you have to say it. You were saying every single thing because you believed in every bit of it, and I can connect with that purely because I've been seeing you for quite some time. We've worked together. I know you a little bit. So I really appreciate you taking this time out, coming over and talking to us and telling us the importance of giving and why it is so important. It really doesn't matter at what stage of your life or your career you are. If you really want to give, you can always give. So it's the intent that matters more than the stage of your life or what have you. So thanks a lot, Sanjeev. Thank you very much, everybody. If anybody else wants to stay back on the call and have any conversation, feel free to. Those who want to drop off, I want to thank you all once again for joining us. Thank you.
Thanks, Aditya.